All right, what's up, y'all? Before we get started, we are going to hit the disclaimer as always, and then we'll get rolling. Before we get started, yes, I'm still in my positions. So I know I got that DM a couple of times. So, fantastic position we are eating. Material information presentation is for educational or entertainment purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice or recommendations. Any and all statements made on this channel are the sole opinions of Options Millionaire and should not be taken as financial advice. No financial decisions should be made based on your materials shown here. Trading futures, equities, and options involves substantial risk of loss. It is not suitable for all investors. Any investor can potentially lose all or more of the initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle. Only risk capital that should be used for trading, and only those specific risk capital should consider trading past performance, not just showing the negative future results. Trading is one of the riskiest and most difficult tasks one can take and must be approved with extreme caution. Do not invest any money you can't afford to lose. All right, we're good to go. Had to get through that. 43.65 here. Play it back on half speed. So the big takeaway for today is that if you are someone who uses Bookmap, today was a freaking case study in icebergs. The most ridiculous display of icebergs I've ever seen since using this tool. I don't even know what to make of it other than the fact that I said today, because I've never seen this before, I need to make sure that I take copious notes today. Because I need to see what happens when that type of iceberg come on. We've had about 20,000 orders of iceberg come on since about 10 o'clock. And it's still happening. Even right now, they're piling into icebergs. And obviously we now have a net result 40-point move because of it. Yeah, I'm in 43.65 puts and Tesla 205 puts. Funnily enough, the SPX are paying a lot more than Tesla right now because Tesla decided to stop falling after I took my puts, although I am green. I'm only up 18% on my Tesla puts. I got a pretty dang good exit halfway on my Tesla puts, so I got a great exit, but the other half is only up like 20% now, whereas my 43.65s are up 92%. It's been a fantastic day after a frustrating morning. Tesla is getting smoked, 6.46%. XLV continues to sell off. New lows of the day. XLF gave back all of their proceeds today, and they did not go to charity. Apple is down. The only thing green today is Nvidia, and they're only up 1.6 after being up a lot more than that. It's been a heck of a day. Record a speed read and play it back every time. That's a good idea, Top Shatter. I like the way you think. Efficiency at its finest. So 43.69, 43.68 is filled. We have a negative 43,000 CVD. That may be one of the top negative CVDs I've ever seen. I can't remember an instance where I saw a higher or a lower CVD than that. So all that to say is that today is very much an outlier day in terms of liquidity, and yet we're not even moving that much. Yeah, we're down 40 points, but in the big scheme of things, we have some pretty egregious stuff happening on Bookmap, and it's not really showing on the charts. It's crazy. Unfortunately, I don't track max CVD, so I'd have to go back and I wouldn't be able to go back and track myself. But yeah. SPX 0DD puts and Tesla 1DD puts. Yeah, those are the trade I'm in. Yep. What's the elevator music? My bad. Is that still on there? It shouldn't be on there still. Yeah, I've got it muted. Shouldn't be on there. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. But, I mean, go back and look at this. Look at these icebergs that filled from about 11 o'clock Eastern Time until 1 o'clock Eastern Time. I mean, look at that. 9,900, almost 10,000 icebergs on one instance. 900, 600, 2,200, 2,200, 2,000, 1,800. I mean, we're talking collectively like 20,000 icebergs were filled in that hour. Absolutely ridiculous. and it brought us all the way down. How's the volume? Upticking. We have already surpassed the past 3 days of volume, and we still have an hour and a half of trading left. Egregious. Egregious. Even with this huge drop, ES is only down 0.6. Yep. Yep. 43.70. Set your trailing stops and take profit. Stepped away from the computer a few minutes before 1 o'clock, thinking it'll come back at 2 and missed all the fun. Oh, yeah, you what? You stepped right before. You stepped away right when J Powell started talking. Did you hear J Powell say close the effing door? I did not hear that. Did he actually say that? I didn't hear a word of his speech, honestly. $88 million notional. What did he say? Wrap up. I'm looking through the notes now, but while Jerome Powell was speaking, climate protesters interrupted his speech. His response: just close the effing door. I cannot wait to see that become a meme for the next 2 years. It's crazy. All right, so just like that, we have now, if for those who are following the bear channel that we posted yesterday, here is how it's looking. So we've already tested the high, and we quickly breached the low, and now holding on that low right now. Just took a 50% loss on puts. What happened? Basically, it's we are willing to stay higher for longer with rates. So pretty much the same thing he's been saying the past 12 to 18 months. Nothing's changed. Crazy stuff. Filled another, 700 orders? Nothing burger. Yep. I need to find a soundbite of that. We're not confident that we've achieved sufficiently restrictive policy. Interesting. Interesting. Do you know why that comment is interesting? One of the main reasons why our boy, Michael Gayed, keeps saying that we're effed is because he believes that the feds have over-tightened. But Powell just said that he's not confident that we've been restrictive enough. Interesting. I just listened. I'm starting to listen to it. I'm 20 seconds into the tonight's comments. It's already word for word the FOMC speech, exactly the same as the FOMC speech. That is the funniest thing I've ever heard. I was listening to his comment. That's funny. Sorry. Yeah. I didn't hear. All I listened to this 45-second clip, but what the part I heard before he was interrupted, it was the exact same thing as the FOMC. Isn't F2 a major pivot? Right now, S4, or I'm sorry, S5 is a major pivot. The geopolitical situation will be a much bigger impact than what is really going on in the U.S. economy. It definitely has the potential to do so, absolutely. But until things start to manifest in a way that's aggressive, the market will price it in. I know that's a terrible word to say, but it will. The market is very, very efficient, and it's fantastic in positioning in a way that will protect against unexpected moves. It'll make them expected. At what price was 9,900 orders filled? 43.95. Am I still thinking 43.15? Well, notice we can't get under 43.70. And I said if we can hold under 43.70, the next step is going to be a quick trip to 4,300. So right now we're pinned to 43.70. We can't get under it. We briefly tip below it for a little bit, right back up, retesting 43.70. This is also just happens to be the bottom of the bear channel that we put on this past week. Not to mention, Bookmap flushed everything to 43.70, and now I've added to 43.15. So I'd probably say yeah. Tomorrow we're coming down to 43.15 as long as we don't V-recover. If we V-recover again today, then more of the same, more choppiness, plus 20, minus 20 type of crap. By Friday or today, most likely tomorrow. The IV is not pricing in a move, although it's much higher than it was when I left. It was 18% when I left. It's 25% now. I don't foresee them touching 43.15 today. That'd most likely be a tomorrow move. Was it the 30-year bond auction? It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell if it was the auction or if it was Jay Powell's speech. Either way, we definitely had the move. I will say, though, there were so many anomalies today on Bookmap that it made the probability for volatility pretty high. Usually when you see stuff that is well outside of the norm, I've never seen, I've been using Bookmap for a couple of years now, that something was going to happen this afternoon. And we dropped 40 points. I'm at the 9,900 order. I mean, it wasn't just that. I mean, look at this. It wasn't just the 9,900. It was all of this. This collective mass of icebergs all positioned around 43.97, 43.95. I smell gap down tomorrow. Yeah. I definitely need to go in and listen to the speech and see the notes. So 43.72 holding. PDS would have been paying. They would have. They definitely would have put it. Would have. Yep. So we paused tightening last time, right? And now it sounds like we might start increasing rates again. We did increase. We did pause. Yes, and the market is pricing in the fact that we're not going to hike again. At least they did up until this point. And now he said we don't know if we're not sufficiently we're not sufficiently restrictive. So, who knows? Who knows? Oh, the memes have already started. The memes have already started with J Powell. Oh, man. A little bit more red. Continued inflation progressed. Progress isn't assured. How about voiceovers? Any new ones? Not that I've seen, no. Those deep fakes? No. All right. So, in the world of Bookmap now, negative 42,000 CVD. On NASDAQ, it is negative 289. There's been a couple of very large sell orders in the market here on Bookmap the past couple of days. A couple of days ago, we had negative 31,000. Now, we've got negative 42, almost 43,000. It's a little bit ominous. It seems like the market is preparing for a pretty big move here. So it'll be interesting to take a look at what's going to be going on here. Applications, go live. We'll do it live. There we go. Now streaming Bookmap in the Discord server. So they're still putting on some icebergs here, not nearly as large. We've already wiped out the 4365. To the north, you see they've cleared out a lot of stuff. To the south, they've started stacking 4315, 4300. My NVIDIA put is doing okay. Who knew? Yeah, NVIDIA is getting smoked after being very, very strong. Tesla is still getting smoked, so my puts are still doing fine. And coming on down. Coming on down. ES dropping, there we go, 4365. Can we take out 4363? At which point we'll continue to waterfall. We just wiped out the 4370 support. S5 is the pivot level. Once we take out S5, you'll know just how strong the sellers are today. Continue to roll over. You see that in terms of Bookmap, the CVD continues to pummel. Despite the fact that it's egregiously red, it continues to pummel lower. They continue to roll liquidity lower and without putting on higher. And every single campaign by the buyers is immediately met with selling. Here, selling, selling. The aggressiveness of the sellers is overcoming the weakness of the buyers all the way down. So right now, you can see the obvious trend with price action. It doesn't take a genius to see this. But in terms of underlying market structure, the sellers have overtaken the order book hand over fist. Is it possible the market wants to test 4366, 63 before heading to 4430? It's certainly possible. Yeah. Certainly possible. But how many attempts did we have at 4400 in the past week? Go look at the 2-hour chart. How many attempts at 4400 do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's just on the hourly candle, the 2-hour candles. So this looks like a peak, and the old peak upwards and then fade. And here is the 2-hour chart. 43.65 still rolling. Once we take out this area, we'll go. Selling to the bell type of day, although I don't sell my puts too early as usual. Well, just set your stops, man. Set your trailing stops, or take futures if you don't want to deal with the late day theta, which is a great idea. What's up, Jason? Currently, yes, I'm in 2 plays. A Tesla put and an SPX put. If we break lower from here, I will add additional exposure to 43.45, 43.40. Still won't take out yesterday's lows. Yesterday's lows, we've already taken out yesterday's lows. Tuesday's lows is down to 43.64, which we've already taken out by a tick. And the weekly lows obviously is, in terms of the Sunday move, is down into the 60s. Bottom wick again, 43.65. $43.65 here. Looking at the wrong graph. No, you're fine. Alrighty then. Maybe we fill the gap between Thursday and Friday. Well, I mean, take your pick. There's a whole bunch of gaps lower. But before we get ahead of ourselves after such a sustained rally, we need to make sure we deal with the current supports first. And so far, we got 43.60. We have S5 here on the S&P that we need to get through. Once we get through there, then we can start talking about the longer-term stuff. We got a couple of EMAs lower, simple moving averages lower. We have a couple of pivots, and we have a whole bunch of gaps lower. Whole bunch of gaps lower. 43.62. If we take out 60, they're adding more liquidity. CVD continues to dump lower and lower. So you see the aggregate of sellers still increasing. XLF is down. All 10 X sectors are down, including the 11th homebuilders ETF. The banks, which were pretty strong this morning, got smoked. JP Morgan. Let's go take a look at the regionals. What are the regionals doing in light of Jay Powell's recent comments? Getting dumped. The regional banks are getting smoked. Let's just say right now the regional banks are Evander Holyfield's ear and Jay Powell is Mike Tyson. $43.62. Can we take out this liquidity? JP Morgan will come in and buy them all for $1. Yeah. NVIDIA is starting to get pretty spicy. They're about to give out the entire day's move. Who took an NVIDIA put today? I know someone did. I saw someone post it. I'm up 121% on my 43.65 puts and only up 16% on the remainder of my Tesla puts. Sustained drawdown. So whoever asked me the question earlier this morning, about do I dump my trailing stops into profitability, this is where I'm starting to do that. I'm really starting to shift my trailing stops deep into my profit because I don't want to give up much else here. I've had a couple of instances of this drawing down to 20, 30%. I don't want to do that. I want them to eat this 43.60, dump it, and that'll put me roughly 200% on nearly the entire position size and go into profit here. TLT is pretty much flat, 87.37. VIX is up to 15.57. After a full mean reversion, we got 4 cents off of 14.10. 14.10 was my pivot on the VIX. We got to 14.14. Mean reversion complete. Now the long vol trade starts coming into play, and what happens freaking today? We rocket up to 15.54. We went from down 3% to up 7% on the VIX. That's a 10% delta. And down we go. 43.63. I'm up 118%. I'm getting ready to trim out some profits and then set my trailing stops final. I had a dream the other day. We're sitting at 412 SPY and in 1 minute candle drop 383. Yeah, that would circuit break. Did you say you'd put on more exposure? Yes. So what we'll do, and if we drop off 43.60, what I'm going to do, I say put on more exposure, but what I'm going to do is shuffle. I'm going to take profit on the current positions, leave on some remainders, and then add additional exposure lower. I'm basically going to roll to a different strike to attack a little bit more aggressive deltas. The biggest tail on record. What's the yields doing right now? Holy smoke show. Yields are up 3%. But as bearish as this looks, I want y'all to remember the same thing we experienced last week. Because right now, it's as volatile. We've had a couple of mundane days after a severe volatility last week, but this whole market is just volatility. Explosive moves out of nowhere, volume influx, outflow. Obviously today with the weird behavior on Bookmap, you got to be ready for it. I would probably stick with zeros for now, Alex. Where'd you get yield information? I personally track it on my watch list. I got the yields here. All my bond information is here. Yields. Now there's a lot more to it than this 6, but this is a good litmus test. Bookmap. I think we want 43.60. Like Turkey wants the X. Let's go, baby. XLF 33.48. 33.25 is the next pivot on XLF. That's a long way to go. In the dream, my puts didn't fill by a penny. Missed out the entire move. That would be a retirement trade right there. Retirement trade. We did a nice iceberg. We've had a couple come on. Right now, all eyes on 43.60. We take that out. So what I would expect here, if I had to draw this out, we'll wipe 43.60 with a pretty aggressive red bubble absorption. We'll have a quick shoot down here to roughly 43.66 or 55, 56. A little bit of a bottom wick. And then if sellers are strong enough, we'll continue on down. Just accidentally added a call and came out 20% green on zeros. Nice. I had 43.70 sold for 100% profit. They're now over 300. Hey man, 100% is 100%. Don't sweat it. When I am in profit, what percentage or how many points do you apply your trailing stop? It's usually layered in. So I usually take profit right around my first leg of profit around 35, 30%, somewhere in there. Once we breach 30% and start going 50, 60, 70, I bring my trailing stop down to 30%. And then from there I'll go to 50. From there I'll go to, I don't know, 90 or so, 100 if we get there. If I get to a 200% trade, I won't go beyond 100% profit. Unless there's obvious signs that we're just done moving in the direction I want to go. I'll set 100%. And if the trade goes to 200, 300, 400, cool, I'll just take my hands off. Up to a certain point, and then yes, I'll go ahead and close out the trade or just move my trailing stop right up against the price action and demand that it continues to go, otherwise I'm out of the trade. In fact, that's what I would encourage you to do. If you want to get out of a trade, don't exit. What I would do is just move your trailing stop right up against the price action. And that's way if it stops you out, cool, you're ready to get out anyway. If it continues on moving, then cool, extra profit. All right, a little bit more red here. All right. Basically, algorithms will just keep pushing price down, liquidity pockets on the book map. Yep. So when you're looking at yields, well, you're looking to see what the treasuries are. Markets 2, 5, 10 to our year doing. Pretty much, yes. The whole point is what I'm looking for the bond market is I want them to start pricing in the bottom of the flight to safety trade. Because to me, as an investor who wants to be a part of that flight to safety trade, I need to see when the market's going to price in the possibility of rate cuts. Because rate cuts to me is what's going to signify a couple of possible limit downs on the SPY, at which point we'll start having the big move down into ES 3000, ES 2900. But until then, I need to see the rate cuts in the market, and that'll signify down we go, and the rocket that will become the bond market. I realize logging my trades in a physical book takes my mind off my screen. There you go. I'm a big fan of logging everything in a physical book. A little bit more red. Testing lows of the day here. If we breach this is where I'm going to start executing a little bit more liquidity. But I need them to breach 43.60 and hold 43.60. Once we do that, down we go. 130% on my positions. There goes Tesla on down. 133%. We're right on top of S5 right now, which is a major pivot. We take this out. They're adding more to 43.58. So here's my plan. We're going to breach 43.60. I'm going to remove from exposure on my current positions. I'm going to set a trailing stop in the remainder. completely forget about those, and then I'm going to start looking at a possibility of adding 4340 0DTE SPX. That's about that's about 7 points out of the money. Right now, you're going to pay about, let me come off of Tesla back on SPX. You're going to pay about $2 for those. If you want to be a little less aggressive, you can do at the money positions, which are paying about $5.70 right now. Did I open a PCS? No, no way. No way. All right, new low right there. Puncture 43.60. Wait for the big wipe through 6 to 58. 133%. If NVIDIA turns red on the day, you may want to consider puts into tomorrow. That's a nasty, nasty move. If the buyers can't hold a green day after that move, it shows the overall weakness of the market. First touch of S5 official. Bottom wick. Oh, man. What does your journal and logs consist of when logging your trades? Open all answers. I'm trying to get logging every day. Good question. So I actually talked about this today on our morning stream. Is that honestly, I've actually stopped I've stopped logging my everyday day trades. I'm only logging long-term trades or major trades. All the little small scalps, 20% or so, I've stopped logging those because I've been doing it so long. I know me. What I have started doing now is I've been writing more along the lines of briefs, which I guess that's my aviation thing. We have to brief every day, but I've been writing like paragraph briefs of thoughts on the market, the current conditions. What did I miss? What did I get? What did the market do? Do I have any anomalies? Do I have anything I nailed? All that kind of stuff. So it's usually about a paragraph of roughly 5 to 6 sentences that I have in a notebook that I've got. That I need to honestly get a new one because this thing is so worn out from freaking taking notes for so long. I need to get a new notebook. By the way, if anyone has any recommendations on a good note-taking book that's 8.5 by 11 size, I am all ears. I hate spiral notebooks, so it's got to be like a binded notebook. And some good pens, by the way. All my pens are dried up. What do y'all have? So yeah. But do not sleep on note-taking of taking copious like paragraph notes. Don't just put in raw data of this is the time, this is the price, this is the premium. You have to put in synopsis of the trade itself too. I think that's more important to me than the actual technical data of the trade itself. Home Goods has some great leather notebooks. There you go. Should do a video on journal and logging. It's a good idea. Or a podcast on it. That might be good podcast material. If you're into digital note taking, I have the Remarkable 2. Yeah, I've looked into that. Honestly, if I could do different colors, I would probably have already pulled the trigger on that. I need different colors. What chart am I looking at? This is ES. You're welcome, Corey. Thanks for being here. Thoughts on tomorrow? As long as we don't have any crazy V recovery, I say down. Not to mention the option chain is also supportive of continuation tomorrow as well. We've been V recovering so much I was scared to take puts all day. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. If you were a little hesitant to take puts today because of what we've been experiencing, don't sweat it. It happens. I love the pens I have the multicolor option. There you go. I'm up 3.59% on my port. I'm done for the day. Nice, Damien. I love it, buddy. Good job. Holding S5. That is, by the way, that is 1,500, which means... No, I got 15 minutes left. Never mind. I jumped the gun. I still got 15 minutes. I don't know how, but I made 300% on my DTE. There we go. New low of the day. Once we get through 43.57, I'm going to take profit. I'm going to hold to my strategy. Almost 46,000 negative. Right here. The icebergs have flipped negative. Look at the subchart indicator. We got to get through this 43.58. Booyakasha. Pay me. Pay me, son. 163% right there. I'm taking my profit here. And then I'm going to leave on some runners, set trailing stops, and I'm going to forget about them. Forget about it. Hey, where's Danny Gabagoo? I haven't seen him today. Where's he at? There's that bottom wick we saw after fulfilling that order. We got to get through the bottom wick first after transaction of the liquidity. Now they're adding 43.50, 43.70. Ooh, major bottom wick. What could cause a V recovery? A full, not talk. I mean, a small bounce, like a 10, 15 point bounce up from here, simply profit taking. I don't expect here. Hold on, I'm going to choose my words carefully here. The only way that we full on V recover this afternoon is if this is simply a blip in the uptrend radar, and tomorrow we go higher. And I'm talking 43.50 to 43.80 or 44.50 to 44.80 tomorrow. If we V recover today. I do not expect that. So, a wiping of 43.70 brings us to 43.15, possible 4,400 or 4,300. And then all the way back down. I've already closed out a majority of my exposure. I'm going to set my trailing stops at approximately 100% for the remainder. And now I'm looking for 43.40s SPX. So I'm just playing my strategy. Everything I just planned for, I am executing it right now. I'm putting it into play. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. 435 is the max exposure here. We're obviously well below that. What does tomorrow look like? Whew. 430. The main pull on the chart is 430, which would put us at 4,300. Get that shakaroni. Haven't had it. I started watching The Last Dance for about the 15th time. Y'all seen that documentary? It's great. Big old bottom wick here. Hilarious. And I took it personally. Yeah. I think he said that like 4 times. I love it. I learned the hard way that paper trading is not accurate and does not help. Yep, I agree. Smoke that pound. This is hilarious. Love it. What's happening right now? We are absorbing 4360. Gap fill SPX. Who's dip buying XLF? Oh yeah, someone is. Let's give it time. That was the worst 30-year bond auction since 2007. Did I take any trades on this downside? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So, one second. I alerted this thing right here. Copy. What happened in 2007? I don't remember. I think Creed came out with a new song. I heard something about a ransomware attack. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. Alrighty then. Still holding S5. What arms wide open? See, they're going on tour next year. I'm stoked, man. I'm gonna have to go get me some tickets. I haven't been to a concert in a long time. $43.63. Ransomware was at 1300. We had 3 nasty red candles that dropped the market. Same time as the bond news. Interesting. Two firefighters fired after stopping at Chick-fil-A on the way to an emergency. Interesting. Sometimes you gotta eat. 43.63 here. ES got attacked. Please explain why paper trading is so off. It's all simulated. It doesn't go by the actual order book, obviously, because it's paper. So you're going to get, like, just whatever fill you want, you can get. But it's not even that. That's not even the problem of why paper trading is terrible. That's because you don't have any skin in the game. That's the underlying reason why paper trading is not a good representation of trading. Because, I mean, it's fake money. Do you think we get to 430 SPY? I do. I do think we'll get there today or tomorrow. In my opinion, best way to learn a new system and study charts is start trading with real money, very low risk. Yep, I agree. I agree. You're welcome, unknown. Oh, man. Well, we have about 6 minutes left of the stream, and then we got to shut it down. Will I continue voice streaming here? Yeah, but I'll have to shut everything down and reopen our own stream. This is all through Bookmap, which I only have allocated 1 hour. I have to shut it down at 3:15, but I will be over back in the Discord server, our own Discord server. So, creeping back up. So what we experienced here is we came on down. The main liquidity level was 43.60. We absorbed that. The buyers did their thing, and now we're creeping on back up to 65. VIX is starting to come off just a touch. XLF is coming up, and just pinned so far. Fulfilled the plan, though. Most of my exposure's off, so this market can do whatever it wants, and I'm good to go. Looking through. Top wick. V recovery to close. Well, that would definitely change the perspective of the daily chart right now. High volume test. Aside from all the crap and catalyst today, what we had today was a high volume test. Now that means we need to refresh lower, and then we'll figure out if the bulls want to launch another campaign to retest 4,400. We had 9 failures of 4,400 in the last 3 days. So the bulls had every opportunity to conduct low volume approach through 4,400 and transact up into 4,430. Every single time it was met with selling, and today was a high volume rejection off 4,400. So in the world of VPA, we have to go lower for the bulls to reaccumulate, retest 4,400 or above, or just come all the way down to 4,150, where we started last Monday. Why do we have to go lower? Because with that many attempts at 4,400, That says that there's too many sellers in the tape. There's still too much supply that will not allow the bulls to go higher. So now we have to move lower, reaccumulate to gather more inventory to now try and attack on 4,400 again. I've been telling my friends low volume days most likely favor bulls. Finally a little volume today and they get smacks. There you go. Yeah. You're 100% right. It's very rare. It's very rare we get a low volume sell off. It's happened a couple of times, but it's rare. So beat down VIX Friday. It's possible. Oh, man. All right, y'all. That is 3:15. I do have to call that a day. So I appreciate y'all taking the time and rolling with the punches today with a change time. Usually it's at 1 p.m. Eastern time on Thursdays, every Thursday. But with a function, I had to push it back to 2:15. So thanks for taking the time. Good questions. Hit the like button for me before you head out. And then, yeah, if this continues to pick back off here, I'm going to go refresh my drink here. We'll come back and then jump back on the stream in the server. So if you want to be a part of the server, come hang out with us. Good trades, good money. I'll see y'all next Thursday. I'm out.